I want to show you two birds, same species, same age. Both Quaker parrots, both brought home as young birds by new owners who loved them. Same starting point, everything equal. In 12 months, one of these birds will fly to its owner the moment they walk into the room. The other one will move to the far side of its cage and turn its back. Nothing dramatic happened to the second bird. No abuse, no neglect in the obvious sense. Just a series of small moments, each one seeming harmless on its own, that added up to something the bird could not forget. I am going to show you both timelines, side by side, so you can see exactly where the path splits. Both birds arrive home on the same kind of day, a small carrier, a new cage, prepared carefully, food and water already in place, an owner who has done their research, who is excited, who genuinely wants this to go well. Both birds sit in the corner of their new cage for the first few hours. This is normal. This is a Quaker parrot processing an enormous amount of new information. New smells, new sounds, new light, a new human moving around a new space. Both owners watch their bird carefully that first evening. Both feel the same thing. A mixture of excitement and the quiet, slightly anxious hope that the bird will like them. This is where the timelines begin. And this is where they start, very quietly, almost invisibly, to diverge. Timeline A. First week. The owner in Timeline A is impatient, not unkind, impatient. They want connection quickly. They open the cage on day 2 and put their hand in, wanting the bird to step up. The bird backs away. The owner tries again, reaches further. The bird moves to the corner. On day 4, the owner picks the bird up anyway, just for a moment. They hold it, it struggles. They put it back. They tell themselves, it just needs to get used to me. Timeline B. First week. The owner in Timeline B opens the cage door and sits nearby, does not reach in, just exists in the same space, talks quietly, offers a piece of food at the cage entrance and waits. The bird does not take the food on day 1. On day 5, it takes a single piece from the owner's fingers and retreats immediately. The owner does not react dramatically, just notes it, sits back down. Here is what is happening in both birds' brains during this first week. The Quaker parrot's trust system is not built on single moment, it is built on patterns. The brain is asking one question, over and over, in every interaction. Is this safe? Is this safe? Is this safe? Is this safe? In Timeline A, the answer the brain is receiving is sometimes yes, sometimes forced, pattern, unpredictable. In Timeline B, the answer is yes, consistently, every time so far, pattern, safe. The birds look similar at the end of week 1, but inside, they are already different. Timeline A, the first month. The owner in Timeline A has good days and bad days with their bird. Some days the bird steps up willingly. Other days it bites when approached and the owner pulls back frustrated. The owner's energy changes depending on how the previous interaction went. Some mornings they approach the cage warmly. Other mornings, after a bite the day before, they approach more carefully, more tensely. The bird reads every bit of this. A Quaker parrot can detect a change in your cortisol level through micro changes in your voice, your posture, your movement speed. It does not need you to tell it you are tense. It already knows. In Timeline A, the bird is now managing 2 sources of stress, its own adjustment to a new home, and an owner whose emotional state it cannot predict. Timeline B. First month. The bird in Timeline B has begun coming to the front of the cage when its owner enters the room, not flying to them yet, not stepping up freely, but orienting toward them, watching, the head tilt, the single focused eye. The owner continues the same pattern, same approach, same calm, same response to a bite, not pulling back dramatically, not pushing forward, just a steady, unhurried presence. What is happening neurologically in Timeline B's bird is this. Every consistent, calm, predictable interaction deposits something into what behaviorists call the trust bank. It is not a metaphor. It is a measurable reduction in baseline cortisol. The bird's resting stress level drops, interaction by interaction, as the pattern confirms this person is safe. In Timeline A, the deposits are inconsistent. Some days the balance goes up, some days it drops. The bird cannot build on an unstable foundation. 3 months in, something happens in Timeline A. The owner has a difficult week, work stress, less time. The bird's cage goes uncleaned for 4 days. Feeding happens, but the long sitting nearby sessions stop. The owner is present but distracted. They are in the room, but not there in the way the bird has started to expect. The bird begins calling more. The owner, stressed and exhausted, responds by covering the cage earlier, by saying "not now" in a sharper tone than usual. By one morning, And this is the moment, picking the bird up when it does not want to be picked up, because the owner needs the comfort of the connection even though the bird is signaling it is not ready. The bird bites hard. The owner puts it down, says nothing, leaves the room. That moment, that specific exchange, is not the end of trust on its own, but it is a withdrawal so large from a balance that was already unstable that the bird's brain begins to update its pattern file. Is this safe? The answer it is now receiving, not always, not reliably. Sometimes yes, sometimes, without warning, no. I want to stop here and say something important. Quaker parrots do not forget. This is not a figure of speech. Avian memory research has confirmed that parrots have episodic-like memory, the ability to store specific experiences associated with specific individuals and retrieve them in future interactions with that individual. Your bird remembers the time you forced it when it was not ready. It remembers the morning you were tense and it could not understand why. It remembers the moment it bit you when you left, not as a grudge, not as punishment, as data that updates the answer to the only question its brain is constantly running. Is this safe? And here is the thing that matters most. The data can be updated again. New experiences overwrite old patterns, slowly, with consistency over time. The question is whether Timeline A's owns that before it is too late. Timeline B. 6 months. The bird in Timeline B flew to its owner for the first time on a Wednesday afternoon, 4 months in. No particular reason that day. No special treat. No deliberate training session. The owner walked into the room, and the bird simply flew across and landed on their shoulder. The owner stood very still, did not grab it, did not make a big reaction, just stayed there. Let the bird make the next move. The bird stayed for 11 minutes. That was the moment the pattern completed. The trust bank reached the threshold the bird's nervous system recognized as safe enough to cross the room, safe enough to land, safe enough to stay. Timeline A. 6 months. The bird in Timeline A steps up sometimes, tolerates handling on good days, but something has shifted in the last month that the owner has noticed and cannot explain. When they walk into the room, the bird moves away from them. Not dramatically, just to the other side of the perch, slightly further than before. The owner reaches in. The bird steps up, but there is a tension in it, a readiness, the weight of a creature that is complying but not choosing. The owner senses it but cannot name it. What they are feeling is the difference between a bird that comes to you and a bird that allows you. These are not the same thing. And a Quaker parrot always knows which one it is doing. The moment the title of this video refers to does not look like a dramatic event. It is not a single terrible thing. It is a morning, ordinary in every way, when the owner of the timeline, a bird, walks into the room, reaches toward the cage the way they always do, and the bird, for the first time, does not move toward them at all. It sits on its perch, it looks at its owner, and it stays exactly where it is. The owner stands there for a moment. They try once more, hand at the cage door, the familiar gesture. The bird turns slightly, not away completely, but enough. This is the moment. Not a bite, not aggression, not a sound, just a bird that has quietly, finally updated its pattern file one last time and decided that the answer to its question is not safe enough. The owner closes the cage door. They do not know yet what just happened, but their bird does. Here is the question I know you are asking. Can it come back? The answer, and I want to be honest with you here, is yes. Almost always yes, but it is slower than building it the first time because the bird is not starting from neutral. It is starting from a place where the pattern file says, this did not go well before. Every new positive interaction has to do two things simultaneously: deposit into the trust bank and slowly, gently overwrite old data. It takes longer. It requires more consistency, not less, and it requires the owner to do something genuinely difficult. Approach the bird with patience, even when the bird is not responding, without letting the lack of response make them tense or discouraged, because the bird is still reading the energy, even when it is turned away, even when it seems not to care. It is still asking the question, and every calm, unhurried, pressure-free moment you give it is an answer, the right answer. Before this video ends, I want to ask you one question. Which timeline are you in right now? Not the timeline you want to be in, not the timeline you were in last month. Right now, today, this week. Is your bird flying to you or allowing you? Is it orienting toward the door when you come home or moving slightly away? Because both timelines are recoverable. Both birds can reach the same place. The only thing that determines which ending you get is what you do in the ordinary moment. Not the big gesture, not the special day. The Tuesday afternoon when you are tired and you choose to sit near the cage anyway. The morning when you are running late and you take 20 seconds to respond to the contact call before you leave. The moment you feel the bird is not ready and you step back and you wait and you let it decide. Those moments. Every single one of them, your bird is watching, and every single one of them, it is updating its answer. Make sure the answer it is building is the one you want it to have. Tell me in the comments, which timeline does your bird feel like it is in right now? No judgment, just honest, because this community is the kind that actually wants to get it right. Like this video if it made you think about your bird differently. Subscribe to Quaker Mind, because next week we are covering something that surprises every single Quaker Parrot owner the first time they hear it. What your Quaker Parrot is actually doing when it stares at you without blinking, and why the answer is more extraordinary than you expect. I will see you then.